The Lighthouse Keeper's Secret. Welcome to another Luck Scout bedtime story. Nestled along the rugged coastline was a sleepy village. This village, with its charming cottages and narrow cobblestone streets, seemed to be frozen in time. The houses, painted in pastel hues, stood in neat rows, their windows adorned with flower boxes bursting with vibrant blooms. The village was a haven for those seeking solace from the hustle and bustle of modern life. The salty air carried the scent of the sea, mingling with the fragrance of wildflowers that grew along the cliffs. The sound of the waves crashing against the rocky shore was a constant, soothing presence, a reminder of the power and beauty of nature. The sea breeze, cool and refreshing, whispered through the village, rustling the leaves of the ancient oak trees that lined the streets. It was a place of simple joys. The villagers led a life that was unhurried and content. Children played in the meadows, their laughter echoing through the air. Fishermen mended their nets by the harbour, sharing stories of the sea. In the evenings, families gathered around bonfires on the beach, singing songs and roasting marshmallows under the starlit sky. At the edge of the village stood Beacon Point. This towering structure, with its whitewashed walls and red roof, was a beacon of hope and safety. It had stood there for centuries, a silent guardian watching over the village and the sea beyond. The lighthouse was more than just a navigational aid. It was a symbol of the village's resilience and enduring spirit. This grand old lighthouse watched over the sea, its light cutting through the darkness like a sword. It had seen countless storms and shipwrecks, yet it stood tall and unwavering. The villagers often spoke of the lighthouse with reverence, as if it were a living entity with a soul of its own. Its light was a comforting presence, a promise of safety to those who ventured into the treacherous waters. For generations, it had guided lost sailors home. Many a mariner owed their life to the steadfast beam of Beacon Point. The lighthouse's light was a beacon of hope in the darkest of nights, a guiding star that led sailors safely to shore. Stories of its miraculous rescues were passed down through the generations, becoming part of the village's rich tapestry of legends and lore. Old Thomas, with his kind eyes and gentle smile, was the lighthouse keeper. He had tended to the lighthouse for as long as anyone could remember. His weathered hands knew every inch of the structure, and his heart was as steadfast as the light he maintained. The villagers held him in high regard, seeing him as the living embodiment of the lighthouse's spirit. Every evening, as the sun dipped below the horizon, he would climb the winding stairs. The climb was long and arduous, but old Thomas never complained. He knew the importance of his duty. As he reached the top, he would light the lamp, watching as its beam pierced the gathering darkness. It was a ritual he performed with reverence, knowing that lives depended on that light. He held a secret, one that made the lighthouse's beam so special. It was said that the light of Beacon Point was not just a product of oil and flame, but of something more mystical. Some believed it was the spirit of a long-lost sailor, guiding others to safety. Others whispered of an ancient artifact hidden within the lighthouse, its magic infusing the light with an otherworldly glow. Whatever the truth, old Thomas guarded the secret closely, knowing that it was the heart of the lighthouse's power. Thomas wasn't just a keeper of the light, he was a keeper of stories. He knew every creak of the lighthouse, every whisper of the wind. The villagers often wondered about the twinkle in his eyes when he spoke of the light. It was as if he knew something magical, something he wasn't quite ready to share. But they trusted him, for his presence was as comforting as the lighthouse beam itself. He was a beacon of hope, a symbol of unwavering guidance. As darkness descended, Thomas would light the lamp. The beam, however, was unlike any other. It pulsed with a warmth that reached beyond the physical. Fishermen out at sea felt a sense of calm wash over them when the light touched their boats. Children, gazing out their windows, felt safe and sound. The light had a way of chasing away worries and fears, replacing them with a sense of peace. It was a silent lullaby to a village nestled by the sea.
Knocks timidly on the door.
One stormy evening, a little girl named Lily found her way to the lighthouse. The sky was dark and the rain poured down in torrents, soaking her to the bone. She had been wandering for hours, lost and scared, with only her teddy bear for comfort. The wind howled like a hungry wolf, and the waves crashed against the rocks with a ferocity that made the ground tremble. Lily was afraid, her heart pounding in her chest as she approached the towering structure. The lighthouse stood tall and imposing, its light cutting through the darkness like a beacon of hope. She had heard stories of the lighthouse keeper and his magical light. They said that the light had the power to guide lost souls to safety, and that the keeper was a kind and wise man who had lived there for many years. Lily hoped that the stories were true, that the light would protect her from the storm. She knocked timidly on the heavy wooden door, her small hand trembling with fear and cold. The sound of her knock was almost drowned out by the howling wind and crashing waves, but she hoped that someone inside would hear her. Thomas, the lighthouse keeper, with a knowing smile, welcomed her in. He had been expecting her, as he always seemed to know when someone was in need. His warm smile and gentle eyes immediately put Lily at ease. Thomas said, "The storm frightens you, little one." His voice was calm and soothing, like a lullaby that could chase away the darkest of fears.
Nods, clutching her teddy bear. Lily nodded, clutching her teddy bear tightly to her chest. She felt a little braver now, knowing that she was not alone. Thomas said, "Don't worry, the light will keep us safe." His words were like a promise, a shield against the storm that raged outside. In fact, I have a story about it, a story for a stormy night. Thomas led Lily to a cozy corner of the lighthouse, where a fire crackled warmly in the hearth. He wrapped a blanket around her shoulders and handed her a cup of hot cocoa. As she sipped the warm drink, she felt the chill of the storm begin to melt away. Thomas began his story, his voice weaving a tapestry of words that painted vivid pictures in Lily's mind. He spoke of a time long ago when the lighthouse was first built, and how its light had saved countless lives over the years. He told tales of shipwrecks and rescues, of brave sailors and mysterious sea creatures. Each story was more magical than the last, and Lily listened with wide-eyed wonder. As the night wore on, the storm outside began to subside. The wind no longer howled, and the waves no longer crashed with such fury. The lighthouse's light continued to shine brightly, a beacon of hope in the darkness. Lily felt safe and warm, her fears forgotten in the glow of the fire and the comfort of Thomas's stories. Eventually, Lily's eyes grew heavy, and she began to drift off to sleep. Thomas's voice became a gentle murmur, lulling her into a peaceful slumber. She dreamed of the lighthouse and its magical light, of adventures on the high seas, and the kind lighthouse keeper who had welcomed her in from the storm. When she awoke the next morning, the storm had passed, and the sun was shining brightly. Thomas was already up, preparing breakfast. He greeted her with a smile and a plate of pancakes. As they ate, he told her that she was welcome to stay as long as she needed. Lily knew that she had found a new home, a place where she would always be safe and loved. And so, the little girl who had once been lost in the storm found her way to the lighthouse, where she discovered the magic of its light and the kindness of its keeper. It was a story she would carry with her for the rest of her life, a story for a stormy night that had led her to a place of warmth and safety.
Thomas, his voice a soothing balm, began his tale. He had a way of weaving words that transported his listeners to another time and place, and tonight was no different. He spoke of a time long ago when the first lighthouse keeper received a gift from the sea. This was no ordinary gift, but one that carried with it the weight of the ocean's mysteries and the promise of its protection. It was a lamp, but not just any lamp. Crafted with intricate designs and imbued with a glow that seemed almost otherworldly, it was a marvel to behold. The keeper had never seen anything like it before. This lamp, the sea whispered, had the power to calm the stormiest seas and soothe the most troubled souls. It was said that the lamp's light could pierce through the darkest of nights, offering guidance and hope to those lost at sea. The keeper, filled with gratitude, vowed to use the lamp's light to protect all those at sea. He understood the immense responsibility that came with such a gift and was determined to honour it. And so he lit the lamp, and the magical beam shone brightly, a beacon of hope in the darkest of nights. The light reached far and wide, guiding ships safely to shore and providing comfort to sailors battling the fierce waves. Sailors who had once feared the treacherous waters now found solace in the steady glow of the lighthouse. They knew that as long as the lamp was lit, they had a guardian watching over them. The keeper dedicated his life to maintaining the lamp, ensuring that its light never dimmed. He would often be seen polishing the lamp's surface, whispering words of gratitude to the sea for its precious gift. As years passed, the story of the magical lamp was passed down from one keeper to the next. Each new keeper took on the mantle with pride, understanding the significance of their role and the legacy they were upholding. Even in modern times, the lighthouse stands tall, its beam as bright as ever. Though technology has advanced, the essence of the keeper's gift remains unchanged. The lamp continues to be a symbol of hope, resilience, and the enduring bond between the sea and those who navigate its waters. The lamp itself, with its intricate designs and timeless glow, serves as a reminder of the sea's generosity and the keeper's unwavering dedication. It is a testament to the power of light and the promise it holds for all who seek its guidance. As the sun sets and the night takes over, the lighthouse's beam continues to shine, a constant in an ever-changing world. It stands as a beacon of hope, a guardian of the seas, and a symbol of the enduring spirit of the lighthouse keepers who came before. Thomas finished his tale with a smile, his eyes reflecting the light of the lamp. The listeners, captivated by the story, felt a renewed sense of wonder and appreciation for the lighthouse and its keeper's gift. The magic of the lamp, it seemed, was not just in its light. but in the stories it inspired and the hope it brought to all who heard them. Thomas continued his story, his voice weaving a tapestry of comfort and courage. He spoke of a ship caught in a raging storm, the waves tossing it about like a toy boat. The sailors were afraid, their hope dwindling with each passing moment. But then, through the driving rain, they saw it. The lighthouse beam, a guiding star cutting through the darkness. The warmth of the light reached them even amidst the storm, calming their hearts and guiding them safely to shore. Lily, her eyes heavy with sleep, snuggled into the chair. The storm outside seemed less frightening now. Thomas's voice, gentle and reassuring, painted pictures in her mind. She imagined the brave sailors, guided by the magical light. She felt safe, protected within the sturdy walls of the lighthouse. As Thomas finished his story, Lily was fast asleep, her teddy bear clutched tightly in her arms. The storm raged on, but inside the lighthouse all was calm. The light from Beacon Point continued to shine, a silent promise whispered on the wind. It spoke of safety, of peace, of the enduring strength of hope. As you drift off to sleep tonight, imagine the warm embrace of the lighthouse beam. Let it chase away your worries and fears, guiding you to a place of peace and tranquility. Sleep soundly now, little one, and let the light guide you to sweet dreams. Good night.